Hi, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to make a video talking to you all about why people should not mess with people of God. And most likely, if you're someone watching this video, you're most likely a person of God. I'm also including my beautiful angels in this video and your beautiful angels as well. So I'm including angels in this video as well. Who would think to mess with an angel? You'd be surprised. Humans are messed up sometimes, so we're gonna include them in there. Actually, especially Saint Michael the Archangel, if a human messes with an angel, go into the Bible and see what happens, or see the instructions on humans that mess with angels. They are literally not to be kept around. What happens when people mess with people of God? Same thing essentially, and I'm going to go into that in this video. And this video will make you feel so much more better. Guys, do you ever wonder what happens? Do you ever just get confronted, or something happens, or something happens and you're like, why did this happen to me? Didn't I pray for protections from this? Well, you kind of got good karma for that because you protected someone else from that happening, because especially in many different parts of the Bible, from Exodus, Leviticus, literally every part of the Bible, Genesis, I'm saying them out of order, but every part of the Bible, different parts of the Bible, talk about when you mess with a child of God, God basically says, that's my child. You're not going to mess with my child, especially if you're not of me and they go to me about you. You know what's going to happen? Their iniquity will be theirs. What does this mean? So, same thing from even the start of Genesis and the mark of Cain. When Cain has a mark on him, you mess with Cain, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And did anyone mess with him? Nope. That mark is very special. And the same thing applies to you guys as well. So you guys, when you're a child of God, you have a mark over you. You have a mark over you. So what happens to people who are on their spiritual journey and who have not moved themselves closer to God yet? Those people are a little bit vulnerable. Not fully, but a little bit vulnerable, especially when God knows that child's going to end up moving closer to him. Sometimes you're the shield instead, but it's coming at a greater reward. And this dynamic is kind of nuts. It's kind of a crazy dynamic, and it'll help you guys feel better. So let's just say you got tried, someone tried something with you, etc., and you're like, why did this happen? And you just can't figure it out. I'm going to talk about other aspects of that in this video, but the biggest thing is, let's just say Joannie, right? I'm just using a random name. I hope there's no one named Joannie watching my video. Joannie's being messed with. Joannie's constantly being messed with. Let's just say she's on track to moving closer to God, but she hasn't learned to ask like that yet. God's protecting her anyway, but she still needs to ask for the protections. Let's just say you are someone who, and not a lot happens to you. So let's just say there's some troublemakers who come across you who are on their way to her, and that might have been the end for her. That might have been, she might have not had that protection because she doesn't pray like you, or she doesn't pray like that. And yes, I'm in a spot where cars shine their lights at me. But the thing is, sometimes you'll meet whatever is supposed to face Joannie because you're literally protecting her because you have the protections. I'd like you to think about that for a second. You're the one, but basically, she doesn't have a shield of the Lord. Because, maybe she does, but it's not to the full extent of your shield. Maybe she has a little tiny shield because she's still new into it, and she's still getting started off, and she's still finding ways to move closer to God, but she hasn't yet gotten there yet, and God knows that, so he sends a very strong soldier such as yourself, and you have the giant shield. You have a buckler. You have literally, it's a plated shield with spikes on it. So someone who messes with you, they face the spike shield. I'd like you guys to Google a spike shield. It's not fun to hit a spike shield. So same thing for them. You're going to ask, oh, why did I feel that blow against my spiked shield? It's because that was nothing to you. If anything, it was a surprise to you, but move past it. It's not there to last. It's there temporarily. So what happens to the person who hits the spike shield? More karma because they mess with a person of God who is closer. And you did help a person, so you get good karma. Plus, it's on the aspect, and this is the good part. is that person who would have normally messed with vulnerable people mess with you. You're not vulnerable. You're a child of the Most High God. And let's just say if they have 30 more years on this planet, and the 30 more years they're on this planet, they torment people, they cause people to not want to be here anymore, maybe they cause people to leave the earth, and all that happened is they walked into you, they mess with you. And you're wondering why, versus you also get, you don't ever do this because you're getting rewarded. I'm going to say this right now, you're getting rewarded. Your challenge that you face, because God knows you can handle it, so he's not going to send you something you can't handle. God does not work like that. He's going to I'm going to send, unless you are of the devil, unless you're the enemy, he will not send you something you can't handle. It's always something you can handle, and especially through him. So these people are sent towards you to get disarmed, to be removed, and sometimes to not be around anymore, to mess or hurt people, hurt people, etc. Now, I'll give you some examples. Especially for those who are in school, high school, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can be any age and a person of God. Or let's just say someone who's like a neighborhood gangster. So the neighborhood gangster normally doesn't mess with you, but most of their life is messing with other people. So that gangster is literally like costing people their lives, literally ruining, like just damaging the whole vibration of this planet and causing havoc. So let's just say they were to do that 100 more times in the next year, but they just stumbled upon you and you thought you were in bad timing, but you were in the best timing because God's directly behind you. He's literally directly behind you with all your beautiful angels. And that's just a test because you can handle it, and it means you're getting upgraded just to see how you react to the test. If you got upgraded, you did pretty well. Let me get to the aspect of this video at 7 minutes. We're 7 minutes in. What happens when people mess with your angels? I'm going to go into this. This is super interesting. Some people are like, well, no one messes with angels. When they mess with you, they mess with your angels because you are a person of God. Sometimes people will try to go past your angels and it won't go good for them. Let's just say it won't go good for them. So just remember that little song. Sometimes people will try to mess with your angels. Just sing a little song and remind yourself that when people, what do I mean by mess with your angels? Tarot readers do this. Spiritual readers do this all the time. Now, I can tell you most spiritual readers have an agenda. If you don't believe that, too bad. It's something that's true. So if you were to remote view into a spiritual reader's home, you can see they collect the names of the people who are the most gifted and they keep them around, or they'll keep them on a leash. They'll do some kind of deity work on the person to be able to keep them close, and that's why they end up reaching out to certain people. Little secret. So essentially they're messing with your angels at that point. Sometimes a spiritual reader such as that will try to recruit your angels. Angels are helpers of God. They're not spirits. They can't be recruited like that. So sometimes people will try to, and you ever hear people go, your angels or ancestors, they're not saying anything, they're not talking, or there's a blockage, they're not talking. No, there's no blockage, they just didn't want to talk. They see what the person's trying to do, and they see they're trying to extract your gifts and your motives, and they're trying to take your abundance, and your angels are just like this. So what do they do with the angels? They try to prod the angels, like poke the angels, poke the angels, poke the angels. These are angels of God. Look what happens in the Bible when people mess with angels of God. They're quickly dealt with in masses. What happens if this one person tries to get information out of your angel? And that's one thing I say about angels too. They're not nosy. Even when you guys get a prescribed custom necklace from Florida Stoneman by DMing me on Instagram, not TikTok, Instagram, to get your own necklace, when my angels prescribe necklaces for you guys, sometimes they don't tell me any details. Sometimes they tell me exactly what you need based on chakras, whatever, but they won't be overly nosy. They won't say, oh, this person, unless you ask. So they will never just spit up all this different information, because that's not what they do. Angels, there's laws of interference. If people are like, oh, that's not true, my angels tell me this. Those are not angels, and they're spirits. Angels don't do talking like that. If anything, angels will show you. They'll take you to where it can be seen and they'll show you. So for people who are doing readings with just angels, the angels don't talk like that. They're using fallen angels or spirits. So in essence, they're trying, I mean, people like that will try to mess with you. And you ever been abused by a spiritualist? Try to go to the spiritual community even for a little while. It happens very fast. They start very friendly, warm, sweet, nice, kind, funny. And you're a person of God, assuming you're a person of God, and you have these beautiful angels around you, they will see you as an easy target the nicer you are. The more you need help and the less you know, the more they're going to try to mess with you. What does this mean for you? It means for you to move closer to God, for you to do what you're supposed to be doing, for you to be on the right track. And yes, I'm looking around watching my environment. So for you to be on the right track, for you to move closer to God, for you to know what's right, and for you to stick by what's right. For you to, and this is the downfall of humans. The downfall of humans is when they get egotistical or prideful. You ever wonder why certain people lose their protections? It's usually because of pride. I have to find the exact verse in the Bible about it, but people who are very proud, before pride comes the downfall, I'm saying it right, before the downfall comes pride, yes. So people are proud. They're like, well, I'm the most spiritually protected person in the world. I can go to any reader I want, and I don't need to worry about, and like what God says about proud people in the Bible too. Don't make it far. They don't make it far. They don't get his help, and they don't make it very far. Well, I can go to any reader. I can go to a demonologist to get me read because that's just who I am. I'm A-grade protections, and I have the world's best protections. And your angels, the second you get prideful, they actually help you get your karma to make you more humble and have humility. You're like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. Go ahead. And that's how people end up getting their lessons. Same reason as to when people, if for example, sometimes your angels will tell you, let the right spiritual mentor come into your life. Don't go forcibly looking. If you go forcibly looking, you're going to find a predator and they're going to smell prey. But some of you will go past your angels, and when you go past your angels, they'll let you, because you won't do it again after what happens after that. But in essence, that's a big thing too. Know that you're right. Know that you're not being prideful. Know that make sure you're doing right by God. Question yourself, question your motive, because when can this video topic go wrong? Don't mess with the person of God. And there's some people who are just problem causers. This is a very good point in this video to talk about. Some people are problem causers. They'll cause problems and they're like, well, I'm a person of God, but you caused the problem. You weren't innocent. So you have to make sure you're in the right. Ask yourself, did I cause this? No, then I'm not dealing with it. It's not my problem to deal with. God will deal with it because you trust in the Most High. Versus you go into public, you knock a plate on the floor and you're like, pick it up. And the person says, how dare you talk to me like that? And you're the problem. You are the actual problem. You will get the karma. And if that was a person of God, the same rule applies for them. So make sure you're in the right. That's one thing about angels too. They're not going to side with you because you know them. They're going to side with God, and they're going to side with the truth. That's where I see people lose their angels. I see people who, they want to dabble in black magic, but they have Archangel Michael around him. Oh, around them. Oops. Okay, a person had Archangel Michael around them, and he dabbled in black magic, and Archangel Michael, let's just say his duties shifted. The person didn't learn. Michael left, but he stayed at the same time. Well, this is when, with Archangel Michael, he'll always watch over you. He'll always be by you, but his job switches when you sell yourself to the devil. When you go to when you put yourself in the dark side, then the best angel will become the one who watches over you from hurting other people, which is appropriate. Because why? You thought you were going to have Saint Michael switch with you on the sides, going to darkness because he knows you? No, these are angels of God, and they follow God. They do right, and they side with the light. Same thing applies for you guys. Make sure you're in the right when you're 100% in the right. Not even just that. If it's 90%, then ask God, God, please fill in 10%. I didn't know any better. Versus, don't make the mistake again. Make sure you're doing right. So when you're asking God for help, the help is there. When you're in the right, you're in the right. If you're in the wrong, ask for forgiveness. Don't do it again. You could face a potential karma, but it won't be as bad. If you're 100% in the right, don't even worry about it. It's not your problem. It's 100% of their problem because they mess with a child of God. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Make sure you check out floridastoneman.com. If you'd like your own custom necklace, you can DM me on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.